Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia aba bontia ba bekasa. Na Bawumia nsemo a waka no. Naturally, no, I'm supposed to be surprised that he'll blatantly lie to people like this. But I'm not surprised because now we are used to Bawumia's lies. They're very simple. Bawumia say, ono or your vice president now so ono no de Ghana card eba Ghana. Ono Bawumia ne de agenda 111 bae. Gold for oil ono no de bae. One constituency one dien ono no de bae. Bawumia semo a on the war country a year in Crawford just because of pese yeto abama no. But we'll look at these things about Miaka near her say. Asemo about Miaka na no kwari and no kwari. Any as the new patriotic party flag bearer hopeful, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has touted his contribution to the Nana Akufo-Addo government despite being just a vice president. Speaking to NPP delegates in Upper East region on October 30th, 2023, Dr. Bawumia indicated that despite being the vice president whose role is mainly to assist the president, he is the brain behind some of the major policies of the government. Or say, I am a vice president. I am not yet a president. By the grace of God, or say, by the grace of God, you would make me a president. But I am a vice president. And you know that the work of the vice president is like that of an assistant headmaster, isn't it? That is the nature of my work. But if you ask me, Dr. Bawumia, since you became vice president, what policy have you brought to bear on government that we can use to remember you by? He quizzed. He went on to list some of the major policies he championed under the Akufo-Addo government as follows. I say, I'll tell you that we brought Ghana card. Bawumia say, ono no de Ghana card ba Ghana. Erade Nyankopon. God. Erade Nyankopon. Hey! So, a man of age can lie like this. Bawumia is telling Ghanaians that Ghana card, or no, or see we brought Ghana card. That is what Bawumia is telling Ghanaians. I'll show you something. Sa Ghana card, ECOWAS card the same way. Adie way Bawumia king. Sa Ghana card adie. I remember very, I think it was Kufuor or Atamil's time. I remember very well. Say, ye maye kosa lie Q. Say ye register Ghana card. Ema ye yen registration. Edru say ye be print ya ma ye no. Ene be ya asem. But that time no some people got DS. And I me no ka say sa Ghana card ya ye Kenya ye me wadamfo bi. NDC for time kra no wone de. Yen de na nanke wo say ba ne ye ka tre yen say yen konkoje. Se mo be kaya embre bi video bi na ekọ viral ni ese Ghana card. Ewo office no omo to cards bebre bi egu. That video ne went viral on social media. It was the old ones name se Kufuor time no ye no. Inti Bawumia mo ba ye no enye so no de Ghana card ba yo. Ni ya ye bia da hot dada. Inti ende se wo ba na wo be ka se wo na wo de Ghana card e ba ya. What sort of lie is this? Bawumia answer na mo ni Akufo-Addo ba aban mu no. There was a framework. O she Ghana card ne so ya tro ECOWAS. O Bawumia sa time no. Na wo ni aban mu. It was a decision. ECOWAS for FI ECOWAS card. Sakra ni your friend no. That is the real name ECOWAS card. Mo na mo ba na mo be say mo friend Ghana card. But he din angasa no. Into Ghana card so ya tro was so ECOWAS. It was a framework, a decision taken by ECOWAS countries. Now we be and say wo na wo buy na wo the Ghana card buy because you know say omo awoni omo kasa no, they don't understand where it came from. So you are lying, you know you are lying and you are lying. This is the person you guys want us to vote for. Hey! Meba NIA card during Kufuor's era. I don't know whether we'll find something like that. I don't know whether we'll find something like that. NIA card in 2012. Remember no in 2012 near here. Now, okay, inti Ghana card for no. Yenko redeem free omo ankasa omo website. Se Bawumia na e kan so no the Ghana card buy. Yen ready omo website any or say this is our history. National Identification Authority. Right? Or say our history. In 1973, national identity cards were issued to citizens in the border regions of Ghana, including into omo say national identity cards see omo sha ase kra so omo ye no 1973 be no ni ye no border regions into Volta region, northern region, blah 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 blah. Okay, the project was discontinued 3 years later due to problems with logistics and lack of financial support. This was the first time the idea of national identification systems arose. Again, in 1987, the government of the PNDC, NDC for 1987, through the National Commission for Democracy, revisited the national identity card concept by establishing committees, including a technical implementation committee. Due to economic difficulties, the issue was not pursued. In 1973, and yes, Ghana cardi. But no, na akandie na akondie ni ho. Inti 3 years and ye baby jaye. NDC for by that time in the name of PNC. In 1987, and omonso babeye. Omonso babeye no technical implementation and a technical difficulties binti and also omuchaso. Also once again, in 2001, when the National Economic Dialogue was convened, the National Identification System was seen as a major policy concern. As a result, a multi-sectorial technical committee consisting of stakeholder organizations was established to do the following: study and review the 1991 National Identification Report, establish the main principle. You know, certain in no so anye no, and a 2001 ku 4 time ye ka say da be inform committee ni enhwem ni enhu ne say national ID no Ghana card ye beye. Or say by 2003, the National Identification Secretariat was set up to implement and manage the national identification system. Inti ku 4 times and America try mo say ku 4 time e ka say ye cause 4 for make queue and ye kokko ye no 2003 ku 4 time and ye set a national identification system. Or say the act establishing the National Identification Authority was passed in 2006 with Professor Ernest Dumont appointed as the executive secretary. Under his tenure, the NIA was able to acquire a host of logistical items required for institutional building of the NIA. The authority was able to acquire 1,510 mobile registration workstations, registration centers and workstations. No, 2006. Ena yakoko toto ehun nyamani ni na say yes and so baba beye. Pick up vans ne civilian buses ne sa nyamani nano mass registration exercise. I say pickup trucks, vans and civilian buses were procured for the mass registration exercise. Drivers were recruited, interviewed and selected. Materials like cartridges, registration forms and writing materials were required. Individuals were recruited, trained and selected as mobile registration workstation operators. The National Identification Authority's head office was built and 97% of the building completed. A pilot mass registration exercise was held to test the forms and equipment deployed for the exercise, as well as the registration process as outlined by the authority. This pilot registration exercise took place in 2 communities, Abokobi and Sege, in the Greater Accra region for 10 days, from July 27 to August 4, 2007. To 2007, ye shall say ye pilot. Ye ka say pilot ye di kan eye wo baby answer ni ehu issues a ye benya ni ya solve issues no answer na yakoye wo baby kese. Into 2007 ye shall say The testing, selection, and training of staff, all that blah blah blah. So see, July 1st, 2008. By the end of July 2008, Professor Kenneth Agyemang Atefua, who is currently the NIA boss, 2008, and he appointing, 2008, and a current NIA boss, he appointing, they say, Oya Bawumia best man, 2008, and he appointing, as the executive secretary and oversaw the execution of mass registration in the Western, Eastern, and Volta regions between August 2008 and July 2009. Into this is National Identification Authority Ghana card for no on my website ni our more say 2008 any 2009 August 2008 2009 any ye share say ye mass registration of Ghana card. Or say on July 22nd 2009 Dr. William Ahaji began his appointment as the Executive Secretary of the National Identification Authority. And it went on. So this is the history. No, omo posti ewo Ghana card for nankasa e posti wo omo website. And baby a share free a share free 1973. And a registration nankasa ye be ye in 2008. Inti ende ye wo 2023. Na Bawumia one nkrofo okoko kasa. Na wo ka tre nkrofo say Ghana card na wo de buy ya. Bawumia we osanso ka say agenda 111 ono no de buy. Agenda 111 na COVID time. Ekufuado be announce ya waka tre Ghana for say ye be see 111 hospitals no Bawumia na de agenda 111 buy. Meba. Evade yankopon. Nipa to me try and throw say. Me wait anyway, me ka say me ma me hu ndri me but. We there. Who now the agenda 111 by? Charlie. Ekufuado yen na wo addresses that time no fellow Ghanaians no babeka say agenda 111 obeye in 18 months any history no CTFM in 2001. Also, the president Nana Akufo-Addo has said that hospitals under the government's ambitious Agenda 111 project will be completed within 18 months. And then Akufo-Addo catching from 2001. And the Bawumia say, "Hey, no, the Agenda 111 buy." Charlie. Bawumia. I say, I brought Ghana card, I brought agenda. Why all kasa nano ampopo? All kasa say nano ampopo. Bawumia no ampopo. Adeya gold for oil. In the end, Bawumia is still mentioning gold for oil. Gold for oil. What? Hey, Radi Yesu. I say make rain. And then, and I got your trader. Kumbe suegu Ghana for so I said I prep Ghana for again say. And in Tokwesi wo Israel ne Hamas no. Ebe ko say friends oil increase. Bawumia nso na ejina o ka say gold for oil. God forgive you, Alhaji. God forgive you.